is you let people hustle without having to hustle, right? You let people create a massive amount of content and quality content without it actually feeling like a hustle to them. But it's actually, you know what I mean?
Got it. So like there could be a perception of a hustler type entrepreneur who is a talking head online, and it could seem like they're everywhere at once and they're putting out, you know, Gary V's 100 reels a week and they're all over and with these prolific talking points, and then they're on a jet, then they're on a yacht, then they're on a Lamborghini. And really what we're able to do as a content creation facility is optimize our clients' time, have them in for content sessions that are going to be able to produce bulk content. And, you know, some of our regular programs I consider to be a month's worth of content, and then in larger scale, a year's worth of content is able to be created and generated for our clients so that they can just press the button on that white glove service and walk away and know that their online perception is going to be on par with like the high level of business that they're doing.
Yeah. I mean, just sitting in this chair with you at Q29 Studios, I 10X the amount of videos that I can create in probably a quarter of the time.
Yeah. And it's customized. So whatever your needs are as a content creator, entrepreneur, influencer, we're going to be able to meet those needs and maximize the quality while we're doing it.
Yeah. And what's interesting is about, you know, working with you guys is that it's not just working with you. You're generally the face that people see for Q29, but you also have your partner Sean, you got your sister Morgan, you got Matthew who's on the keyboard back there, like
Matthew's
constantly editing. Like, you have a team, and so when someone hires you, when I hired you, I didn't just hire you for you or just a space. I knew you had a team that could scale my impact, could scale my content without me actually having to put more work.
Yeah, at Q29, we made the investment early on in a team structure, being that Sean and I were business partners, and really Morgan and Matt have been a part of this since the beginning. But we made the investment early on in order to be able to scale and invest in more clients than the typical freelance videographer would. And we're really much more than that, being that, podcasting and content creation is such a vast area of expertise, from audio production to video production to cinematography to video editing and lighting and scheduling and timing and travel and setup. And it's such a vast level of expertise that it's a lot to maintain. So a lot of times freelance videographers will really only be able to onboard one or two clients to be able to keep their quality assurance standard. But what we've been able to do at Q29 is, maximize our growth by working with a lot of people, and our team is fully functioning and systematized. So you're not going to get that from the typical freelance videographer. And you bring up an interesting point. This is something that I was talking about earlier with Sean, is like the term editing, right? A lot of people, now that content creation has become a big part of the entrepreneurship space, the term editing gets thrown around pretty loosely. And there's definitely levels to what the definition of video editing even means, and I've told you before that I feel as though I am part of my client's story by helping them tell their story and creating, being the creator of their story, in the visual representation of it in that aspect. So editing really the term editing is undervaluing what we're actually doing when we sit down at the computer to create even a 50-second video. It's really a magical element of the storytelling process, and we can really shift and shape the way that the client's story is perceived through the way that it's edited. So really, we're not editors, we're creators. We're really shaping a story through our expertise.
Yeah. What you guys are really good at is creating content that you can monetize as well. Because just creating content just to get the person in here to feel like a superstar and to like get some views and some followers. But there's a specific way that you guys direct and produce the content and edit it that allows me, and I know your other clients, to actually monetize it. To turn videos into cash is a whole different ballgame that you guys are really good at, as opposed to like maybe just a videographer who just like films content just to film content.
Yeah. A lot of times it's much more than just filming content, right? I don't want to just like minimize it to call it a pre-production program, but really like shooting for what you know you're going to edit is really the secret sauce. So, walking in with a plan and, to a certain extent, we just have done it so many times that we know what we're looking for, and we have standardized practice on set or on location that's going to inform the way we shoot because we know what we're going to edit and what we want the end result to be. Yeah. So it's really just reps. Like failing faster applies to this too, because we've just done so many goddamn podcasts and trailers that we just know what we're doing.
The real fun thing about coming in here as a creator and entrepreneur is that kind of ideation process. And I know you and I will sit down for like an hour before just to get a solid 10-piece, longer form piece of content. But that's what it takes. And most people can't do, as an entrepreneur, there's a big push towards solopreneurship right now. So you're doing everything. Entrepreneurs were always wearing all the hats, but now as a solopreneur, now with all of the demands of marketing and social media, it's impossible to do it all on your own. And so I really appreciate you guys, creating an outlet for me to like take some of that weight off my shoulders so I can focus on what actually pushes the needle in my business.
Thank you. We live for it. Yeah. It really takes, that's why we're very selective with the clients that we bring on, because
who like if you could describe the avatar for your ideal client, what would that be?
Yeah, I like calling our ideal client like the Damon Johns from Shark Tank before they are Damon John. So entrepreneur-minded individuals
who have money. You need some money,
who are doing
right?
it. Yeah.
People, like you honestly, you have to work with people. And this is what I always say to my clients. I vet my clients as much as they should be vetting me.
Yeah.
I vet them to make sure they're the right person, the right personality. I vet them to make sure they're financially capable of investing in their business and in their transformation and in my services. Otherwise, I'm just setting them up for failure, and then they're going to take 5 steps back anyway. So, of course, you probably have some metrics.
There's requirements, and we're just looking for like a commitment, because the individual who's our ideal avatar for Q29 Productions is someone who's young enough to understand the value of social media and what that does for their brand, but old enough to have had some degree of success in the field already, not only to be able to financially compensate for the workload of a production company, but also to be able to have the thought leadership, understanding, and backing of what they already do to be able to verbalize it and contextualize on camera in front of lights and potentially an audience, their talking points, because that's essentially what it all boils down to. So, we like to work with someone who, first of all, they see the vision, right? They know it's going to take months, if not years, of content development in order to grow their social channels, which is ultimately the goal, whether it's vanity metrics or ROI through client acquisition on Instagram or YouTube or whatever it is. Growing the channel is the creating the content to grow the channel to make the money to keep doing the same thing on the feedback loop.
Well, I told you the story, or I said the story at the
Vital Talk?
The event you threw with Damon John. Yeah. I told the story about the cobras in India, and I love it because it really struck a chord with me. Like it tugged at my mindset and my heartstrings and all of these things that I thought I believed about business and money and attention. Because what is the framework of a video that you think would be most beneficial, and one, easiest for the person to create, but also most beneficial for their audience?
Okay, this is what I did with a team of Serhant real estate agents. Sat down for a social media strategy session, and this is really easy, something that someone can do on their own. First, you just write content types in a list. Types, right? Just think about it. Like, what are the types of content categorized that you've already put out? Maybe they did good, maybe they didn't do that great. Let's like categorize them. So a list, like maybe one is, if we're talking about realtors, we're talking about one is an iPhone walkthrough. Maybe it's like a fast walkthrough. Maybe there's a slow walkthrough. Maybe there's a selfie walkthrough. Maybe there's just iPhone B-roll of a house, just interior stuff, just outside. Maybe it's a picture with your clients as a testimonial. Maybe it's a video with your clients. Write one question that you would ask them. These are all content types. And then you need to set up a 3-day schedule that represents your week by week by week. It's always the same. Monday, Tuesday, Friday, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, whatever works for your schedule, a 3-day plan. That means that you can post the same type of content on the same day every single week, right? So someone just starting out, they should be posting 3 times a week. Choose 3 days of the week, choose one of your content types to post on those days. And then whether you need to spend an hour or 2 on Monday making your content for the week, block your time so that you have this set up and hold yourself accountable, because the results are endless. I mean, if you go from putting out nothing or 1 post a year on holidays and vacations to just posting 3 times a week as a business owner, you're going to see your business double in a month, guaranteed. I almost say I could go to war with like all of these kind of like film people. You know, I just think it's so counterintuitive to the process. Like I had a video one time that did pretty good where I was talking to our team at Q29 and I'm like, listen guys, I was like on set, like I don't want to be talking about camera equipment and technological language at all. Like we're selling a feeling. Nike doesn't talk about the thread count on their apparel. They just talk about like being a winner. Yeah. You know, so we're making people feel like a star. We're, you know, and yeah, sure, like we all have technical understandings of Adobe and Sony cameras and everything that it takes to be a great videographer, content creator house. But really, like that's not what the client wants to know about, right? So a lot of times I'll end up in a conversation with like fellow videographers or people who are involved in studios or podcasting or whatever, and they'll kind of like start like throwing like camera tech language at me. Yeah. And, you know, like I know some, but like but that doesn't get you anywhere. Yeah. Like that doesn't, just knowing that, like there was a guy here the other night. He's like, yeah, like I got a Sony FX3 and a Sigma lens and it's 24-70 and I got it, and he owns a restaurant. And I'm like, great. Like, where's your fucking content? Did you put anything up? Yeah. He's like, no, like I never used it. So that's what I'm trying to say is like all this like studying of the technology and knowing it, just shoot something on your fucking iPhone and drop it, because that's the only way you're gonna and be confident in yourself. And you know tell a story through, you know, digital storytelling is definitely huge, but like all you know the technical side, you know what because you're all these technical freelance videographers, they go out and they make the best wedding video and then they shoot another 15 wedding videos that season. It's like what that doesn't do anything for me. Yeah. Like, you know, maybe that's cool. Like get your money, you know, there's a huge market there. But you know, you don't have to be, you know, a camera genius. Well, you know, I say that, and then my business partner is literally a camera genius.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but correct me if I'm wrong, but someone's creating content with their iPhone, what can they do to make sure it looks the best?
Just use a basic 3-point lighting system. Put a key light in front of yourself to light your face. That's obviously going to give you the best resolution. It doesn't matter if you're shooting on your iPhone. Who cares, right?
And the key light could be an outdoor source too. Like you can sit in front of a window. That could be your key light.
Yeah, definitely
right?
Don't shoot against the window. Yeah,
but
have the window in front of you.
That's what I mean. That could be your key light though, right?
1000%. You don't have to have high level, expensive lighting to be able to produce decent looking video for your social media, at least if you're just getting started. So start with your key light, and then you definitely want some kind of light behind you to create that depth and to create, you know, use your backlight. And then on the side, you have another light. What is it called?
I don't know what the side light is. Sean, what's the side light called?
I don't know if Sean's in the room. It's okay, Morgan. What? What language are you speaking? Yo, I swear to God, lately you've been talking to me and yeah, so it is another language.
What's it? It's a key light, a backlight, and what's the third light?
A fill light.
Fill. Oh, you knew that.
Yeah. Oh, he's speaking Dutch. All right, so listen, even if you're shooting content on your iPhone and you're just getting started as a content-focused entrepreneur, you can just use this basic 3-point lighting system to make your quality content go from garbage to like looking amazing. So you want to start with a key light. That's the main light that's going to put light on your face and give you any resolution for your camera at all, because that's what a camera is. It's a light sensor. That's what a lens is doing. Then the second light is going to be your fill light. So put that to the side so that can fill your face, the other side of your face. And remember, you can even use a window as your key light, right? So then use your fill light as your secondary light to put a little bit of light on the side of your face to create that profile. And then you put a backlight. It could even have a color, right, to create that depth from you to the background to really give your content that pop. And, you know, a lot of people, a lot of entrepreneurs and content creators come to me and they start talking about AI. They're like, oh man, like how can I use like ManyChat to like respond to people who comment on my post, and how can I, optimize my, business plan with AI and Chat GPT? And it's just like, listen, most of the people that are talking about that aren't even at the level of vast followership or response rate to be needing AI at all. You're talking about going from never having posted a picture on Facebook to all of a sudden wanting a $10,000 a month pro podcast plan. It doesn't make sense. You need to incrementally grow. So you don't need to use AI to time block your calendar. Just write it down and start somewhere. Like, and it's like, that's why people do really good if they just like start with a podcast format, right? They're not like talking directly to the camera about their expertise. It's a little bit more difficult. When I get to rely on a co-host or a guest or a friend or a producer in a podcast atmosphere, it's easier for me to create content and talk because I talk to people every day. So it's not that far off if you can just happen to ignore the lights and the camera and the monitor and the audio and the microphone. If I can ignore that a little bit, just have a conversation with my friend, that's why podcasting becomes the number one entrepreneurship content mode or method, right? Because it's easier. And entrepreneurs don't want to put that much effort in, even though we make it as easy as it possibly could be. We'll come up with the creative list. We'll help you deliver the content ideas on camera. I will prompt you as an interviewer. But yeah, like I said, the podcast platform ends up becoming the best tool for entrepreneurs to publish content. Yeah, it's cool.